Hello all. Today we will be discussing about the impact of COVID-19 crisis on the real estate market in Australia. For that I have with me Mr. Intaj Khan, a councillor in Wyndham Council, where he joins us today in the capacity of a land and property developer. Also joining with us is Mr. Amir Khawaja, who is Director of Gambit Properties. Welcome Intaj and Amir.
Thank you for having me, Vikrant.
Thanks, Vikrant. Thanks for having us today.
Thanks, Amir. I'll start first with Intaj. I would like to know your views how this current crisis has impacted the real estate.
Thank you, Vikrant, for asking this question. Because of the bank situation and due to the current COVID-19, the number of the stories coming out in newspapers, you widely have read it, AFR, Australian Financial Review. Number of the property developers believes, particularly land developers believe, the property market will get hit, and I'm sure everybody have the same convictions that property market will go down. So it's about 30% people are hoping it. What I have observed since the start of this problem, yes, there are less demand in the market. The investors have lost the confidence. And I'm talking about those land developers as I speak. My first project is I'm doing it. So I know the community surrounding that sort of a space. And what we're hoping it now, they trying to hold the projects. So they also feels because of the people, if the people don't have a jobs, then that means there's a forecast what everybody have committed is going to affect it. So presently, in a lot of land developers are facing the same problems as we sort of hoped.
Okay. So how much do you think this has impacted the rental property? Maybe Amir can respond to this first.
Yeah, thanks, Vikrant. I add to what Intaj just said. Look, as we all know, it's very well known fact that Melbourne property market is very strong property market for a while. Recently, in last few quarters, if you see the way the banks slow down in funding, and even if the government try to do a lot of things to keep the market up, and interest rate cut or RBI did interest rates cut, which helps a lot, which helps the market to keep it going for a while. But right now what happened is, according to the CoreLogic ARC data information website data released for April recently, we show a very minor slowdown in house pricing, only 0.29%, which is almost nothing. But what is important to understand and see here is the sales value. The sales value in Melbourne dropped 85% in past 8 weeks, and about 79% in Sydney in past 8 weeks. So what it is it's not the price which dropped. It's the sales and volume which dropped. So what it means is the house price is still almost the same with very slight drop, and which is going to be dropped obviously, but the volume of the sales drop. So it's not selling. For example, if the property was on market in January for 1 million, for example's sake, it's not selling for 700,000 now, which is about 30% price drop everybody expecting. Yes, it will be, but not currently. It might be in 6 months, it might not, So, and in the rental market, the questions, now come back to the question you asked me. In the rental market, it's a slightly different price fell of about 3.1% and about 2.5% in last 1 month. So that's the only thing. The only thing is the properties on for rent right now is more on the market. Like it took about, I saw some of the properties in the area, southeastern suburbs I live in of Melbourne. Properties are there for rent for about 2 months, 3 months, and they still, if they are asking for $750 per week, it's still the same. So but look, at the same time, when the less people there to rent the properties, its price will drop a little bit. But at the moment, it's not. Yeah.
All right. So thanks for giving us kind of a detailed analysis of how the property market is responding to the current situation. So, of course, the sales have gone down, but the price remains the same. That's what you are trying to say at the moment. So,
Yes, and it might, in effect, just to add this, you might see what all the experts in the media and all the experts in social media saying it will drop to 30%, which Intaj mentioned as well, and I agree with that. It might, if we handle the way we're handling everything here in Australia at the moment through government guidelines and Real Estate Institute of Victoria guidelines and Victoria State guidelines, we might maintain that the way it's going right now. We might get back to the bounce back situation, or we might have 30% drop. We'll see in next 6 months. That's what I'm trying to say.
okay. So, Intaj, can you tell us, as Amir is mentioning about the slump in sales, but has this also impacted job market in any way?
Yeah, look, I think the real estate market have been hit hard, and you will see now there's in general sales has been dropped. So before you have a lots like 300 square meter, 400 square meter, they were selling in a week for 5 to 6 in a week. In good time, they were selling about 16, 18. I'm talking about a year and a half ago. But just say now, when things become normal, before the COVID-19, there was easily sales like, 4 to 5 sales a week. But now they're completely almost gone to one, or maybe like two in a 2 weeks time, or one in a week time. So it has been impacted. And I think uncertainty is what is now impacting the more land market. And in relations to job, people, as you know, then a lot of people have lost the job. So what is we fear it as land developers? If there's a people is losing a job, they don't have a job, then how are the banks going to give them a loan? If anybody's going out in today's market, want to buy a block of a land, a lot, how he's going to settle, even though he might have a 10%, 20% deposit, but how he's going to pay the remaining when the time's going to come in 18 months or 1 year or in 9 months to settle the lot. So it's really a really concerning, but I hope so once the lockdown start, become a age, when start is things becoming a normal, things will start changing. But what Amir is saying, I agree with him. The market technically have not dropped 30%, but there's a potential it may drop to up to the 30%, as $1 million property could be up for grab in $700,000. But at the moment, there is no sign, but there are less buyers in the market.
Okay.
This is the most Google question since this COVID-19 outbreak begins. How will Corona affect house price and jobs? Everybody, if you see that. What I'm saying is the bottom line is it will be negative for some time, because the coronavirus has changed the story of 2020 in real estate and property development. And the Reserve Bank cuts, they're doing, government doing everything to keep up the economy right, keep up the real estate market right, banks doing everything the best they can do. And I think, and I expect a strong rebound by 2020, but in short term, it will hurt. But I think the capacity of Australian and especially Melbourne property market we discussed have an amazing bounce back capacity. I think what happened is people losing job, people getting like 20%, 30%, 50% cut on their pays, right? But what will happen is when everything will normal, which we are into a situation, as I said, I was listening to this news this morning, and they're saying that some of the states like South Australia and Western Australia and Northern Territory especially, they are opening up with the lifting some restrictions and opening up some more businesses, getting some more economic activities happening now. And soon it will happen in Victoria and New South Wales as well, because the number of cases every day or every week is drop down big time. So I think we're improving day by day, as I say, as people are saying, and all the experts of health experts saying, and we are not health experts, but we are relying on their information. In 2 to 3 weeks time, they will lift more and more restrictions over the current situation. And if that happens, then more activities, more business activities will happen. The current right now, the inspection is done. House inspection is a mission to do. You can do it online. You can do, at certain time, keep the social distancing. You have to do all that. But doing the house in 3 minutes inspection and, online auctions is good. You can do it, but it's not real auction. Property is not selling that. But once all these restrictions will lifted, you will see more activities in real estate market, and you will see more houses. As I mentioned before, the fall down in the volume of sales will increase, and I think we have pretty good chances to stay in a good market with little bit slow down. And hopefully that will happen very soon in next and it's very uncertainty in next 3 to 6 months, but we will be more clear by June that where we are heading to. And I'm very positive about still the capacity of Australian property market and requirement and demand of the housing and real estate. So
thanks Amir, for your kind of a positive outlook on this situation. I'll ask Intaj on his views on property development work progress and effects on overseas development.
Grant, as we know that now that government is trying to quite help everybody, and I think it all depends on job market. So regarding the local property developers are still, willing to put the money and willing to do the jobs. The problem is also now because of the overseas buyers. Say majority of or a lot of time in western suburbs. So just give a particular western suburbs example. People's buying properties from China or Hong Kong or Singapore or Malaysia. Now because of or India, due to COVID-19 now, the money is being stuck. The whole thing has been stuck. So it has been impacted, and I think that will continue. A lot of people have ideas. They want to migrate to Australia. They want to invest the money in Australia. Because of the airlines is not running, and it will not be run for a couple of months, as we know, international. So this all is going to impact an international market, particularly the land development or a big hierarchy apartments in Melbourne market. Yeah, I do agree that now, because Melbourne market's always been a very moderate, it's a livable city in the world many times in 10 or 11 years in a row. So definitely people's always like to, but there's one thing is I've heard from a friend of mine, which is maybe a true or might become a big opportunity for Australia. Look at the COVID-19 situation. An entire Western country, Australia is the only country, and New Zealand obviously, who have dealt with the situation really, really well.
Yeah.
And we've been immune. So you tell me, if you want to make investment, why would you put the money in the banks? And why don't you give your money to the private funders? Because you feel more secure. So you put your money in a bank because you believe the return will be on time and there will be a compliance with the system. So I think people can have a confidence if they want to live in a country where they can also feel safe, the life is safe almost. I think Australia is leading the game, and this is a signal. This is a message for many, many wealthy people who have the money, who want to migrate. I think they can look at Australia, how Australia have dealt with the COVID-19, and that will be a big selling point for real estates, for the land developers. Look, Australia is a country where you can make investment and live life safely. So it builds a trust in the peoples, and I'm sure everybody would agree with that logic.
I had one thing with what Intaj said in terms of overseas investment coming to Australia. And Intaj said very rightly, and I 100% agree to that. The way Australia and New Zealand handled the whole situation, this is like amazing, And this proves that Australia is as Intaj said, Melbourne is most livable city. Australia is now becoming a most livable country, one of the most livable country in the world due to this crisis. And people living overseas, I'm talking to people India and Dubai, and they're all looking to, as soon as the situation eased, they come here, they invest here, because they, due to the current situation, they all think that Australia is the best place to be. And right now, as Intaj mentioned, that money come at this current situation, money come from overseas is not easy. Money is stuck there. It's hard to get money here. And we saw some of the people still doing it, but I think the current situation of and I just try to give you a little bit of this REIV situation, Real Estate Institute of Victoria. What they're saying is, in some auction can be conducted online only. Open for inspection is not permitted. Inspection may be conducted by appointment only where necessary, and social distancing rules must be observed. That's all good, but that's not giving the confidence of, if I want to buy a house, I want to I can do all that, but I want to really go and have a look and feel, or buying of the market property from development point of view. It's still good, because you can, of the planned properties, you still see the, the architectural drawings, architectural thing, not actual house. But I think, and the jobs, about the question you asked about the jobs, look, right now people losing jobs, people getting 50% pay cut, 30% pay cut. But my belief is, and I reckon, I was discussing with Intaj the other day, we will be, once the situation will be improved, all these jobs they're losing at the moment, they will be back to the same job. Most of them, or maybe 70% people, will be back to the same jobs. So in Australia, we are looking very strong in that regard, Vikrant.
Okay. I'll ask Intaj to sum up his particular point of views, focusing about Australia only, and that will be my last question.
Thank you, Vikrant. As you can see that now, that a lot of land developers and a lot of property developers have now experiencing and will experience a very big issue from the banks and funding point of view. And you can see that now a lot of news coming in AFR every day, how this is going to impact. I think this is a worst happened to the Australian economy, where we are doing really, really well, and it's not going to have easy recover. This is my personal view. It might take 18 to 2 years to recover. And the reason why I say that, because of the way that the whole things work. Look at the confidence in the market. Virgin Airlines has gone down. Qantas shares is just 3.50 cents. Used to be a 5 or 6. So you can look at the impact is created. And I'm sure when people come out of their homes after this COVID-19, the mental health will be really, really bad, because a lot of people getting a bored at home, and they're thinking, just not the bored at home, but because they don't have a jobs. So the crime might increase, while domestic violence may increase. And this is all really sad. What coronavirus have given to the world is unprecedented, but it is what is happening. Look at a lot of people cannot pay their rent on time. I have few commercial land properties, and tenant asking 50% discount. Well, technically you can't afford a 50% discount. So this impact just has started. This is just the start of it. And now we only been 2-3 months in COVID-19. Now imagine a real impact will be 6 to 9 months. So I think government is doing a really good job. And I think we need to see that now how government will handle it, how people, it's kind of starting a resetting entire world again. And my understanding is, I think there will be opportunity. It's pretty much everyone's starting on the same pace. And I know a lot of restaurants, a lot of event management companies, a lot of people like those depends on a retail sector. They're completely gone. So their business completely gone. Now they might not have enthusiasm, entrepreneurship, the spirit of establishing Australian Aussie dreams and business is almost now weakened. So it's going to be really, really a difficult when the things become normal. But we all have to be optimistic and positive. We know that now the education market, the international students not coming because a market have been dropped. So this will have an effect overall on everybody. So we all have to be positive. And I think despite all the fact, Australia is still the safest country, as Amir said, and we know that now. I think we'll have a good chance to start. It's a bit hard to make predictions what's going to happen, but I think we're all optimistic when next week or week after, when the things will start, I think we can have a new start in life.
Definitely the time of uncertainty, but as an intelligent people, as Australia prove it, we are very, very well ahead and very good country in that regard, that we have to stay positive, we have to stay together. It's not time to think about competition with anybody even in the same industry. I mentioned in the other meeting, me and Intaj was with another real estate developers and real estate agents. It's not time to feel competition. It's time to work together and get our country, Australia, a great country, back to, as I mentioned, the bouncing back capacity, get back to the normal as soon as we can. Obviously, as Intaj mentioned, is 3 to 6 months. We will see, but we have to stay very optimistic, very positive that the country like Australia we will bounce back very very quickly, and we will all get our jobs back once everything will be normal. We all back our economic situation and business situation back to normal pretty quickly, but it can be longer. We have to be ready for that. Being optimistic is good, but we have to be real too.
Thanks a lot, both Intaj and Amir, for your views. Taking from your particular point of views, I understand that we need to go through this situation in both cautious and also being optimistic at the same time. So
Yeah.
thank you once again for joining us and for giving your point of views.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Vikrant. Thank you. Thanks
Vikrant.
for having us. Thank you. Have a good day. Thanks, Intaj. Thanks, Vikrant. Cheers.
Thank you.